Hello, welcome to Paul Makes Games. My name is Paul and it is time for some looking back, for some reflecting. And today the game I'm talking about is Sushi Sumo, the game I made in week 3. Sushi Sumo is a 2-player fighting game where you are a sumo trying to push your opponents out of the ring while keeping your stamina up by eating sushi. I will start by saying I was not that happy when I released the game on Friday. I had a few issues over the week which ended up with the game not really being in a state I imagined it to be. In my head, I wanted a similar feel to something like you'd get in Super Smash Bros., where you'd constantly be on the edge and taking advantage of opportunities when your opponent messes up, and coupled with that feeling of having a comeback when you're just about to fall off the edge and you manage to stay in and win the game, and that really good feeling where you feel like you've just got a clutch win. And that's what I wanted to get with Sushi Sumo, and I do not feel like I achieved that. The main difficulty I faced with the game was that the design never clicked in my head. With Evil Monkeys and Orbiter, there was a point in development where things just lined up and I knew what I needed to do to get there. And this never happened with Sushi Sumo, and I've been trying to think about what I could have done differently so I could have handled this situation better. First off, I think I made a mistake with trying to implement the AI too early and trying to be too clever with it. With a game like this, and I mean any game really, but especially one like this, you want to be playing a working prototype and playing with the mechanics so you can see what's working and what isn't. What I should have done is realise that the fun would be in the 2-player game, and that's what I originally had thought, and got someone to play test with me. Instead, what I did was I tried to emulate another player with AI, and I wasted a lot of time as I would program some AI and then change a feature, and then I'd have to rewrite the AI again, all while not actually getting any kind of feel for what the game was actually like. What I should have been doing was getting some core mechanics down, getting someone to play with me, and then working on the AI when the mechanics were more concrete. Secondly, I underestimated the complexity of the game itself, and I did not take into consideration the time I had. I have next to no experience with developing this type of game, and I don't really play these types of games as often as other genres. The amount of tweaking and tested needing in these like fighting games is huge because there are more constraints in the level, which means that it's all about the minute details and the feel for the controls and the interactions that you have as a player. I did not have the experience to be able to hone in on these tweaks quickly, which means I should have been spending and devoting a lot more time on that side of the development. Now, these 2 points of 1, testing out prototypes early while not overcomplicating things, and 2, appreciating that things you do not have as much experience with are going to take a lot more time, are pretty obvious points. You will hear them in pretty much every presentation and talk about designing games. And despite knowing this, I still fell into the trap. And I think this is one of the most important learning points of the whole week, is to remember the fundamentals and step back and reevaluate when you start deviating from them. If I'd done this early in the week, I think the game would have turned out more like how I imagined it. That being said, there are some positives from the game as well. I got good feedback from it. Overall, I got some good comments about the art, mostly the sumo guy, which I was very happy with as it was my first real attempt at animation and more detailed pixel art. Just a funny side note, due to how I created the art, the clothes of the sumo were separate from the body, and before release I realised there was a bug where if the sumo fell out the ring, his clothes would just disappear and there'd be this naked man flailing about with sushi raining down on him. Part of me wished I hadn't removed that bug. I think that would have been pretty funny. And I definitely should have I definitely should have recorded it. That would have made this video more interesting. Pretty much everyone said that the AI was very hard or impossible. And I completely agree. The AI was very hard, bordering on broken. And if it wasn't for the fact that I have set myself a rule where I'm only going to make changes to games after release if they're really completely game-breaking, I would change it to be a bit more beatable. Another bit of feedback was that people enjoyed the two-player game, and I'm glad, because I'm glad that people found it a fun game. One person even said that it was their favourite game so far, which is awesome to hear. In summary, I am chalking this one up as a learning experience. For the future, I want to make sure that I am getting prototypes out earlier and getting them into hands of people who are willing to play them. As well as that, I want to make sure I'm giving more time to genres I have less experience in. I'm happy with how the art turned out, and I definitely want to keep going and kind of develop that style into my games. With that, I am going to get back to working on Game 4, which so far is going really well, and I'm really excited about it. I'll be posting little updates on it on Twitter, so feel free to check that out if you want updates on its progress. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you back here at the end of the week for Game 4, and have a great rest of your day.